Bipolar Rollers, welcome back. I want to start this video by thanking you guys for all the amazing support and encouragement and some great questions and ideas for videos. We all draw a blank every now and then, and so it's nice to be able to tap into some of the people who help make this channel worthwhile. And your ideas have been great, so I really appreciate it a lot. Thanks for the emails, thanks for the comments. We are definitely more positive than I'm used to from YouTube. Very lucky to have mostly likes and a very small percentage of naysayers, right? But then we do rub some people the wrong way, and I'm sure we've turned off some people to those of us with bipolar, period, through our actions or their misunderstandings. You know, probably a good solid combination of both. So I appreciate you guys keeping this space positive for the most part, because we're really here to help each other and there's no other goal in mind. I want to talk today about Mania, because I was laughing about this the other night. I was at a pretty big party, and those of you who know me, I wouldn't say I'm shy, but I would. Does that make sense? I mean, I'm kind of withdrawn. I spent a lot of years just going, I guess Mania had taken over at that point many years ago, and I was that guy who was the social butterfly, kind of went overboard on the you know, activities and the events. I felt like I needed to be everywhere and everything to everyone. And the Mania, which I didn't know I had, really was the gasoline for that vehicle. Kind of set up some really high expectations that people had of me and that I had of myself. Like, I really don't, I mean, see, this is where it's difficult to pinpoint, because even though I like being social, it's a lot of work and it's super draining, because I don't only have bipolar, I'm also an empath, and it's a lot of absorbing other people's energy. And I find that depending on what kind of mood you're in, I'm probably going to be in that mood by the time I'm done talking to you. And that can be exhausting, especially if you don't have a way to release everybody else's stuff, you know, that you're carrying around. And how do you tell the difference between their stuff and your stuff? The lines start to blur. It's exhausting, right? So I stopped being as social as I once was. I also found that Mania didn't really help me that much, and I'll tell you why. Okay, so one thing I noticed is, even when you go through the Mania, right, you have this elevated sense of self, like you're charming, you're sociable, you're active, you're in people's faces, it's just easier to be outspoken, outgoing, an extrovert. The problem is, when I get to that point and I start conversations or I start interacting with people, at some point, it's like a hyperactivity where I don't feel comfortable sitting still long enough to follow it through. So I'm that guy at the party who will start a conversation with you. It'll be lively and entertaining, but then I will fidget the entire time while you're talking to me, because I feel like this energy that I have that's so explosive isn't meant to be contained in that small amount of space or in that small conversation. So I end up being that guy that does the weird, awkward poses where I have my hands on my hips, or I'm turning sides, or pacing, or that sort of thing. It's frustrating. It really is. What do you do with all this mania? What do you do with all this energy? I find that I'm most productive when I have focus. You know, if I know that I'm manic at that time, if I can find something to channel all that energy into, it's really productive. And I'd like to say always, but we don't always follow through. You know, part of the problem with me is that even though you have all this energy and you can focus it into something, it's hard to maintain it throughout the whole thing. It's like we're that squirrel, you know. It's almost a form of ADHD where we want to do these things, but we don't want to spend a ton of time doing them because bipolar, right? We have so much that we put on our plate, so much we want to do, and we set ourselves up to do all these things, and then when the mania fizzles out, we're too depressed to finish up our tasks. So you start being that person that starts and gets into about 15 to 35% of your tasks, and then you fizzle out before you can finish them. So, do you guys get that? Like, I mean, does mania do that to you? Like, are you the guy at the party with your hands on your hips, just trying to, you know, get the person to finish their point so you can get in there because you're so intensely hyper and full of energy that you just want to dominate the situation? Maybe, you know, just get everything that's in your head out, which is very unlikely that you're going to do with who we are as people. I'd love to hear back from you. How do you guys handle all that energy? I mean, I'm a naturally pretty hyper guy, and I have a pretty busy life, so I have lots of stuff to do to channel that energy into. When the depressive side kicks in, I find that laying in bed watching Netflix, or, you know, having a cuddle buddy to chill with, eat some snacks, watch a movie, I've found ways to kind of curb the rough edges of the depression. Staying active is really important too, even though I'm sure, as a lot of you bipolar people know, sometimes you just don't want to get out of bed. You know, unfortunately, I don't have the option, so I have to force myself to do that, and you get pretty good at having the willpower to do that the more you practice it. But with the mania, it's still a little out of control, you know. I don't want to hinder it too much because it is part of my personality, you know, and it has become. But yeah, with all things, if you're going to harness all that power and energy, it has to work for you, or what's the point? So don't let it become detrimental to your relationships with other people. Don't be that sketchy guy at the party. Thankfully, my friends understand that a little more, and the strangers that don't, and if they have cast their own judgment, it really makes no difference to me what their opinion is, because they're not involved in my life. It's an ongoing struggle to be better than the person that you were yesterday. This is one of the areas that I want to tackle. I want to be less awkward in social interactions. It's not that I don't know how to interact with people. In fact, as a lot of you bipolar people have been told, you're probably quite charming when you really get into it. But there's going to be those awkward moments where we just have too much explosive energy for the room. What do you do then? How do you handle it? I'd love to hear in the comments. Aside from that, tell me what other interesting and embarrassing things mania has put you through, because I'd love to hear those too. And if you have any suggestions for any videos upcoming, please send them to ftgusinger@gmail.com or leave it in the comments. I will happily make a video because, hey, I'm trying to do more of these, but sometimes life gets so busy, or I just don't have an idea that I can elaborate further on. Your help is always appreciated. And please, by all means, it's very important, if you like the content that you're getting, that you support the people that are trying to provide it to you. I don't make any money off of this. This is just for me and you. So please like the video. Share it with anyone you think might benefit from it. Subscribe. Please subscribe. I'm looking for more subscribers. Let's reach more people, because there's a lot of people out there who don't know where to turn, and they could use the help. And hit that little bell for the notifications so that you can know when I've made a video next, and you could be instantly sent it. So, I mean, I want you to watch these things, obviously, now. At one point, it didn't matter. Now it really does. Now that I've heard from a lot of you guys, it really does matter to me what you think and how you benefit from these. So scratch my back. I'll be happy to scratch yours. Have yourselves a great day. Bipolar rollers represent.